Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Hope you guys are doing great. Today we're going to do exactly what the title says, and we're just going to create a simple card. I pulled out this old stamp and die set from Fawn, and you know what? I kind of figured, nowadays like you have just like Michael's and a few craft stores left, and maybe you're a first-time crafter and you pick up some simple stamps and you want to know what to do with it. This is easy. um, you'll be able to do this with what you have. All right, let's get to it. Oh, wait, let me show you what I've been up to. I have crafted, but I've been working on this journal album that I'm creating as a gift. It's not completed yet, but this is the cover. Isn't that pretty? These papers are from 49th and Market, something like that. I've had them in my stash forever, and the opportunity came to use them. So yeah, very thick papers. I was quite impressed. Yeah, so that's what I've been working on. But I need to make a card, and I need to hang out with you guys for a little while. All right, we're going to start off. I'm going to make an aperture. And I'm going to use nesting dies. I'm using regular nesting dies because if you go to Michael's, if you go to Hobby Lobby, you most likely be able to find, or Amazon, you'll be able to find just plain nesting dies, right? So I want to make an aperture on this card. I've done something similar before with my little frogs. But this time we're going to use these stamps and make it just like, aquatic. That's all I got. My brain is fried. I've been having trouble sleeping, so yeah. Let me see if that's straight. Yeah, I could trim it if I need. Nope, moved it. Alright, let's run it. I'm gonna use my electronic cutting machine because why not? And we're gonna run it through. It's been hard making cards lately. I think I've been in a little bit of a creative funk as far as cards are concerned. So, like I said, maybe sometimes simple is the way to do things and get you back into what you love to do, right? Okay. So now we're gonna run this through. Why did it stain? Let me see if I can get those marks off, because if not, this is not gonna work. Okay. I know there's replacements for the Cuddle Bug plates online, and that's basically what runs through. These are Cuddle Bug plates that go right through my machine. So let's line this guy up. See which side is up. And I brought this one out because it had the bubbles I wanted. Okay, let's run that through. And in my machine, you just take these off and you run it through like so. All right. See what that looks like. Man, that looks great. Okay. I kind of cut off some of my little, we might trim it down. I don't think it'll make a difference if we trim it down, but let's put that to the side for now. And I might end up submitting this one into the craft roulette thing, so Mm, I think I'm going to use my pink tones and just kind of do a tone on tone on like that. Give me a second. Let me get those. I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm trying to find, because I took a picture of the parameters for this week's craft roulette. Let me see if I can find them. Did I delete them? Maybe I did. Or maybe I wrote them down. Give me a second. Yeah, I actually wrote them down. So it has to be a thank you card. The colors could be decorations, so it could be any color. Hands. And tone on tone. Well, he has hands. And the only thing I have to worry about is the tone on tone. So that's why I think we're going to go with pink, and might as well use it for the craft roulette because my card making has been slow. All right. Yeah, I really got to get into the habit of cleaning my stamps after I use them. So we're going to stamp him out. And yeah, I'm going to use seaweed and the bubbles. And I'm going to stamp these out a couple of times. So let's do that. And I'm going to use my Memento ink. Wait, maybe we're going to use Flagstone. No. Pebble. Alright, let's try Flagstone to see how this one is inking up. Alright. Alright, let's do this guy first. Hey, one more time. Alright, this one's working well. Aww. Very simple stamp, but he's cute. This is also something you can do with your kids, like these kind of characters. They're easy to color, and you can get cards to come in together fairly quickly. So, wouldn't be a bad idea. Alright, let's bring this down. And I think I'm gonna like make 3 or 4 of these. So let me finish stamping those out and I'll be back. Okay, so they've all been cut, stamped, dyed. Let's see. Now we gotta get some inks. And I'm going to actually use my pink tones. So I'm going to start off with the light one on my pale pinks, just to give it a light pink color. I'm going to leave the inside of the face with no ink. And also a spot on the belly. Okay, and then we're going to bring in our magenta colors. And I'm using the mid-tone as the darkest. And then we could use our light tone as our mid, and we can always come back and add a little bit of dark just to the corner. There is no rhyme or reason to this. I've said it a million times. I kind of like self-taught. So you do what feels right to you. And you know something? In my daughter's art class, they said that as long as it's the way you want it to look, if your project reflects what you were thinking of doing, then it's not wrong. So there you go. And that was a total ramble. All right. We can add a little bit of dark. He's going to be very pink. And now we can bring in our light tone and just bring it all together. And if it's too light, you can just add some of the other pink. But since you have that there, it'll still soften it. Okay. Just a little softer. So we have that. And we're going to do the same thing with his body. Let's go down here. Bring in our mid-tone. And we're going to go over it again, so just kind of add what you want. Let's go bring that back in. Mid-tone. Okay. Soften this up here a little more. It should be good to go. So I'm going to finish coloring him up and I'll be right back. Okay, so my bubbles, I'm also going to do them pink. And I might just do that with the light tone and pink, because I just want to give them a little bit of color. I don't want them super pink. Okay, maybe a little darker than that. Let's see. And I'm just going to put them in different parts of it. Let me lighten these up a little bit. Just blend it out. You can use alcoholic markers, you can use your crayons, you can use anything you want, any kind of medium. I mean, these stamps are small enough that you can color with anything and they're gonna look just fine, okay? And if you want, you can add a little bit of extra to these guys, which I think I'm gonna do now. This is white. Yes. With the gel pen, just adding a little bit of dots here and there. Okay. Let's put some on his belly. Okay, that's pretty good. I don't think we need too much. And then maybe on his ears, we can add a little bit of sparkle. Okay. And let's finish lightening up this guy. If you go overboard on the ink, you can always come in with your blender, which is honestly an eraser, alcohol ink, and just soften it all up. It just pushes that color through. Okay, so that's good. And now for our seaweeds. Let's put this. I wasn't talking to you. We're just gonna add a little bit of the light green blend. And that's it. Simple, right? All right. Let's bring in our card. And we're gonna measure where we're gonna put our characters, and I'm just gonna make it a little dot for reference, and I could erase that when I'm done. Okay, I want to make waves, so let me just get one of these playing cards. You don't have a wave die? No problem. And it's not waves, it's like kind of mimicking a ripple in the water, right? So I'm just gonna kind of like what you would do to do clouds, but just a little closer. And that's it. All right. And I already pulled out my pinks, so let's bring them in. Let's do worn lipstick and maybe the sponge sugar. Let's see. Pink. We might just use one because I mean most of the time these inks, every time you blend on it, it lightens up and it darkens up in certain places, so it'll look like you have a couple of inks without having that many. So we're going to move this. And we're going to move it again, maybe this way. So you see, it just, you know, it works. All right. And we are done. Okay, so we have that. And then that will be covered up by this. Again, nothing has to be perfect because in nature nothing is perfect. So we can go ahead and erase these guys. Okay, I could always move it down a little bit. All right, so we have our backdrop. And these guys will go hanging out in here. So they will go something like that. Okay, I'm going to trim this down, and we may have to add maybe some pink to it. I really wanted it just tone on tone here. Well, maybe we could just trim the whole thing down, but the thing is, if I got ink on the top. No, I didn't. Okay, that may work. All right, we shall see. Put our little guy over there. I'm gonna trim this down just a little bit. Some of these folders say A2 and they're not. See, I guess we'll take some off on the bottom. And a little off the top. Well, maybe not, because I want it to come down a little bit. So maybe we'll just take it off the bottom. All right, let's see what we have. All right, that works. Okay, I'm gonna glue it down, you know, because I started thinking about it and then I'm gonna change my mind. And then it's not a simple card anymore. It gets complicated. I'm gonna leave some of the spots open around it so I can put some of the seaweeds in there. So I'm not gonna glue the whole thing down. Most of it is gonna get glued down. Put that up there. You can make this into a shaker card. That would be cute. Let's see. Even that out. Okay. Okay. There we go. Okay. So we're gonna add our character there. And we're gonna add all this now so then I can put glossy accents on it, and then we can do our sentiment, right? Then we'll be done. All right, I want him in the center. So we're gonna put him there. I love the aperture cards, especially when they're like white like that, white on white. I'm gonna put also a little aperture, a little border, a frame around it, right? So it just, you know, finishes it off. So I just want to see where all these guys are gonna go. So maybe we'll put one that way. And kind of like that. What do we think? Right, and then we could put our bubbles around there somewhere. That's gonna look super cute. We got more bubbles. Do we need them there? Or maybe we'll put them next to the sentiment. Yeah, maybe that's overkill. Alright, let's glue these guys down. Okay. And let's add that there. Okay. So we have that. And now we're going to bring over our glossy accents. Okay. Oop, pop that bubble. Because why not? Maybe his tail. Most likely you're going to do the whole thing. But you want the sections to dry so that you can see the separation, like in the with the black lines, right? You don't want to fill them up. Okay, so I'm gonna let that set. I'm gonna get our stamp ready to go, and I'll be right back. Okay, so let's go ahead and stamp it. And I cut out a rectangle nesting die, which again, you can get nesting dies almost anywhere. Very inexpensive. And we're gonna use these stamps. We're gonna put thanks. A latte. Okay. I think I'm gonna bring in some ink and like ink the edges. This is pink, which is perfect. And I'm just gonna add some pink. Kind of just to tie everything in together. Okay, so we have that. Let's clean that up. So this can go here, right? And we have our frame that I cut out of 2 circles. So we have that. And then we can add our other bubbles. Where is my foam tape? Let me see. Okay. Let's add some foam tape. Pop that up. Scissor. Add a little bit of glue so we can move it. So we're going to put this more or less. Let's see. Does that look good? Just about there. And just press that down. Okay, so now we can add one of these bubbles. Oh, that's gonna look cute, yeah. All right, we're gonna put it hanging off the side. We could even do both sides if we want. We can do here and there. What do you think? Yeah, kind of like that. All right, let's do it. Let's go for it. Okay. Give it a chance to set. Let's go ahead and add our frame. This is another part of that tone on tone. Okay, let's do that. We have that. And let's get those done. And now we could finish filling him in with some glossy accents. So let's do his little feet. Just want to get the illusion that he's like in the ocean, right? That he's wet. He's so cute. I could do that all day. All right, let me just continue. Okay. let him set. And then he'll be ready to photograph. Okay, got the rest of those popped. And we are good to go. That's my card. I think it meets the parameters. It has hands, it's color, decoration, right? Because pink you could decorate. It has tone on tone twice because you have the pinks and then you have the white on white. And it's a thank you card. With a simple little character. I mean, all in all, I just wanted to prove that you can take a simple stamp and make a cute card. You don't have to have all the latest and greatest. You just gotta have things that you love and use them. Anyway, guys, I hope to see you next time. I'm hoping to do a live. I'm kind of nervous about those things, but you know, gotta get her done. Have a great one. Have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you real soon.